So I built a $6 Sandblaster and it works really well actually. So the build itself is pretty simple. It's just a $5 blowgun from Harbor Freight and then a Powerade bottle. And then you fill it up with sand, stick the blowgun through the top and pull the trigger and it blows sand through it. And I'll show you exactly what it is. Now the bottle that I found features dual holes so you could actually stick 2 blowguns through it. But in reality it's just supposed to have one. I'm just stupid, it couldn't drill straight. There's a little slot cut in the tube here. And so when this is turned upside down, so when it's turned right side up like so, the slot is facing downwards and the sand falls underneath it. Once the air passes through, it grabs the sand and carries it out with it at a really high speed because, you know, you're supposed to be using high pressure with it, and then it leaves marks in glass or steel or wood if you turn it up high enough. So obviously when you're working with liquid particles that are moving as fast as they are, you have to wear some stuff to cover your face. Now I don't have like a full plastic shield, so I just had to make do with what I had. So typically the equipment that I wear when I'm doing this is the face mask. That's pulled up over my face. The goggles, my hat, and then the hood of my jacket is pulled up over my head. Now this setup works pretty well until you try to breathe through it, at which point the goggles are so fogged up I can't see anything. But it comes with the added perk of now people can't see how ugly I am. Alright, so apparently I wasn't recording, but I just sandblasted this and I'll show you what we're wrong here. But all you do, once you get your air supply hooked up to it, you just pull the trigger, watch your eyes, and out comes the sand. I have found that whenever you stop sandblasting, you need to turn it upside down before you actually let off the gun. Otherwise, the last little bit of air kind of just dumps a whole bunch of it out for some reason. Now right here, I'm going to explain a couple things. This is what happens if you get the Sandblaster too close to your vinyl. I only had it about 6 inches away because I was not wearing my full face gear because it's hot outside and that stuff is really hot. I was kind of just looking through the camera and had my head down and wasn't really paying attention. So don't hold it very close or it will go through it. You want to keep it about 2 feet away. However, the vinyl does protect the glass underneath where it doesn't tear through, and it leaves a nice finish. Now back over here has no sandblasting done to it. You can see it's smooth. Over here you can hear the difference, and this is permanent. It does just chip the glass in like a controlled fashion if you know what you're doing, and it kind of feels like a really fine, like really fine sandpaper. You can feel and hear the difference, but it's not rough. So you can actually make some pretty cool stuff with this. And you can see I have the word home sandblasted into this one. I have another one over there. That one says gather, just like that. Now the difference between getting something like this that's nice and dark and filled in, and you can see that there was work done to it, versus something that's really faded, is you can get it 2 ways. You can get it by having a Sandblaster really close, or by keeping it farther back and just sandblasting it a little bit longer. Now, like I mentioned before with this, if you have it too close, the sand could end up tearing through the vinyl, or it could just dent through the vinyl and end up causing small chips on the glass anyways. But it's just something to watch out for. If you want that good dark look, you're gonna have to sandblast it for a decent amount of time. You know, it's just something that you kind of have to get a feel for. Another thing, my particular Sandblaster, there are another set of holes drilled perpendicular to the first one. That was an accident because I can't drill straight, so I filled it with hot glue. That works fine if you do that mistake. Secondly, you'll probably run into this one too, but mine, if I try and turn it upright, it just stays in place. So before I can sandblast, I actually have to grab it something like that, or with 2 hands, flip it over, at which point I'm able to let go of the bottle and it'll stay upright for me to be able to sandblast. But it is something to note, if that bothers you, I'm sure you could just put some hot glue on the back side and the front side where the tube goes through the bottle, and it would stay in place just fine. Another thing to consider is the opening on the bottle. Don't just use some dinky little water bottle, because you have to have some way to get the sand in this thing. If you have a really small opening, it's going to be really annoying to get sand into the bottle unless you have a funnel. And the reason this is a $6 Sandblaster instead of a $5, the blowgun is $5, but you also have to get this little piece that connects to the air compressor hose. That was about $1. I think it was like 89 cents or something like that. And to watch out, because there are a few different types of fittings. There's like an automotive type and an industrial type, so make sure you know what kind of fitting you need. Like I said, this was a pretty simple build, but I did get that idea from the King of Random, so I will be sure to link that video in the description. They'll go into more detail about what it's actually capable of with it. I think it's a separate video, so I'll link both of them if it is, about how you can sandblast into glass, steel, and what it takes to sandblast something into some wood. If you got a friend with a Cricut cutter, you can make some really cool stuff out of this by sandblasting those designs into like a glass jar or a steel cup or something like that. So that is it. Thank you for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you want to see me go over more little small projects like this. Yeah, that's it.